Okay, so we are learning the topic name exception handling, right? So try catch block, we have gone through the try catch block. So yeah, your question tomorrow. Yesterday you have asked one question why we use try catch block instead of if else statement, right?
Yes.
So actually answer is that actually try catch block is used for things that go wrongs that are outside of your control. Okay, suppose if you are reading a file, okay, using Java code and you have write your complete code, that code doesn't have any compile time error, but at the run time when you executing that code of file reading, file is not present there. So what is the behavior of your Java code? Okay, that is a problem. So this is the wrong thing which is your outside your control. You can't able to how your Java program will respond. So that to handle such type of situation, Java make this try catch and exception handling. Okay, so if you are reading a file and file is not present, then JVM automatically create a exception, that is file not found exceptions. So basically try catch block is for things that go wrong that are outside of your control, and if else should be normal flow. Okay, and ordinary error checking. Suppose if you are submitting a form of name, address, phone number, mail ID. So if you want to check that your mail ID is valid or not, so you can use if else block. Okay, means things which you can easily control, so you can use if else block, and things you can't easily control using coding parts. So that's why Java make the try catch block. Okay, I'm explaining this answer in one question, one program. Okay, let's see. um, we have learned the integer dot parseInt method. Remember integer
Yeah, yeah.
dot parseInt. What is use of this method?
Converting the
Converting the string into the integer, right?
integer. Yeah.
For suppose
Yes.
I am taking input from command line argument and printing this value x. So for running this command line argument, I'm run configurations and I'm passing one argument from here, 100. When I'm passing the 100, then nothing is working fine. Okay, but from the command line argument, if user passing the values instead of numeric string, if it passing the hello, then what is the problem? Actually, hello will not be converted into the integer. That is a problem. So obviously some abnormal condition is there. So here again exception. Name of exception is number format exceptions. Okay. For the it's completely give the error message number format exception for the input stream hello, because it's unable to convert hello into the integer. Okay. So either user can provide any type of input from here. We can't stop the user to provide the input because this is a command line argument. He doesn't know which value he need to pass. Suppose I pass alphanumeric values, still it will give number format exception. If I pass any fractional value, still it will give number format exceptions. Okay, so using if and else, how you can handle this situation? Okay, if I pass hello here, I still give number format exception. To handle this situation, Java make the exception handling. See how we can handle using try catch block. If you're using if else block, so you need to write a number of combinations, okay, of args. You need to compare this args of 0 with the string, then alphanumeric, then fractional, then boolean. Okay, this is the problem. So if I write try block and just handle the just write one exception in the case block, that is number format exception, then invalid, in case of invalid input, it always handle the exceptions for number format exception for input string hello, and rest of the code is executed. So you can handle this type of situation using if else block, but you need to make n number of combinations of the values. Okay, so it's better to use try catch block. All the responsibility we uh, for handling this code is depends on the JVM. JVM will handle all the situation automatically. Getting my point?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, there is a two type of exception. We are learning. See in the slide. Actually, in Java, there is a two type of exception. First one is a checked exception, and second one is unchecked exception. Checked exception is checked by compiler at compile time. Okay. Uh, Checked exception is a situation in which your code will not compile until you handle these exceptions, until you not write your code in the try catch block. So your code will not be compiled. Actually, at this point, we are learning unchecked exception, second one. Okay, so checked exception I will explain later. Firstly, we are learning unchecked exception. So why Java make the try catch block? Because to handle of both type of exception, checked and unchecked exception. So answer for your question, why we are using try catch instead of if else is better to explain in the case of checked exceptions. Okay, so I will explain checked exception later. Firstly, we are learning unchecked exception. So unchecked exception is not checked by compiler. It generally occur at the runtime, just like arithmetic exceptions in which your code will be compiled fine, but it will give the error at the runtime. Same array index out of bound exceptions. So this type of exception occur at the runtime. So that's why we are saying the terms unchecked, and some exception occur at the compile time. That's why we're using the terms checked exceptions. Just like class not found, IO exception, and number of. So right now we are learning unchecked exception. Okay. So after try catch block, there is a next keyword finally. Yeah, one more thing. If you want to find which number line, actually, when we handle the exception, then it doesn't print line number. In this exception is occur, but it doesn't print which line number this exception is occur. Number format. So if you write the code of 1,000 line and you want to find which number line number with the exception message. So instead of writing system.out.println, one method is there of exception class print stack trace. Print stack trace will print the same error message as the system.out.println is printing. Okay, but it's added one line number extra in the message. Okay, this is test.java 12. Okay, this it's added one extra. If you want to find a line number, then you can go for print stack trace. So it's elaborate the exception message in more deeply. Okay, all the there's a 4 to 5 line of explanation which type of exception is occur, and system.out print the exception message in very short. Okay, now come on finally block. So we can use a number of catch block with the try block, but and we can also use super class cage block. But question is that means concept is that super if you use super class cage block, then that cage block must be at the last cage block. Okay, if I moving this super class cage block from at the first position, then obviously it will give the error. Why it give the error? Because all type of exception in the try block is easily handled by the first cage block, that is super class cage block. So why we are using this cage block? This is unreachable code problem. Code doesn't compile. Okay, because all type of exception comes in the try block is easily handled by first cage block. That is super, because this is a super class cage block. So there is no use of second cage block. So if you're using super class cage block, then that cage block must be at the last. Because if arithmetic exception is there, this one handle. Array index out of bound exception is there, this one handle. And rest of the all exception will be handled by super class cage block. Is that clear?
Yes, it was clear.
Okay. Now suppose there is a arithmetic exception is there. and we, if there is a n number of statement in the try block and we forget to handle all type of exceptions, okay, suppose there is a two statement is there but we forget to handle one type of exception, means there is a arithmetic exception is there but we are not handling that exception, we are handling array index out of bound exceptions. So because of some reason we forget to handle one statement exceptions, so problem is that rest of the code will not be, obviously exception is occur here because of if I put the value of y is 0, then it's searching for the arithmetic exception case block, but arithmetic exception case block is not present here, means exception will not be handled. And what happen if exception is not handled? Obviously rest of the code will not be executed. So first number is 10, 0. Obviously exception is come occur here arithmetic exception, but exception is not handled because it's not a matched case block. Okay, so obviously exception is not handled, so rest of the code will not be executed. Problem is that the statement which is right outside the try case block is totally depends on the try case block. Okay, if exception is occur in try block and is handled by the case block, then this statement, rest of the statement easily executed. Okay, but exception is occur in try block and is not handled by the case block, so this statement is not executed. So execution guarantee of this statement is not 100%. It may be executed or may not be executed. If exception is handled, then it will easily executed. If exception is not handled, then this statement is not executed. We want to execute this statement 100%. We want to execute means I want to write a code in which exception is handled or not handled. I want to execute this statement compulsory. Okay, so that's why Java design a finally block. Finally block is a block that will be executed 100%, either your exception is handle or not handle. So if I moving this all statement in the finally block and I write one more statement outside the finally block. Hmm, hello, one more. See what is the output of when we executing this code and suppose exception is occurred, then it's searching for the matched case block, but there is no matching case block here, then program will be held. Okay, but it will check that yeah there is a finally block or not. Yes, there is a finally block, so it will halt the program after executing the finally block. So right now what is the output of this code? Firstly it will print all the statement of the finally block, after that exception is not handled, so it will terminate the program. Hello and goodbye will not be printed here, okay, because it's not a right in the finally block. So finally block is a block that will 100% executed, either your exception is handled or not handled. So it's terminate the program after printing the finally block. There is no hello and goodbye in the output because it's right inside outside the finally block. Is that clear?
Yes, it was clear. But if suppose we have more number of code and more number of lines of code, then we have to put all the code in the final block only.
No, actually, code that you must want to execute. Suppose you are using some resources. Resources means suppose you are writing writing a code for file reading or file writing. Okay, see what happen in the file for writing some content in the file. You need to open that file. Okay, and after your writing work is completed, you need to close that file. Okay, so what happen if you don't close your file? Okay, there is a close method is there. After writing and reading all the operation is completed, you should close the resources, close the file. Okay, if I forget to close the file, then that object file object will be stored in the JVM memory, heap memory, for the infinite time, because when you forget to close the resources. Okay, JVM will think that obviously if that object is not closed, means user obviously using that object, so it will not do the garbage collection for that object. So such kind of code must be right in the finally block. Okay, if you want to if you are writing the code for file reading and some exception is occurred, then finally block will close all the resources. So for closing the file and closing the database connection, all the resource closing work we always do in the finally block. If exception occur, then program will automatically close all the resources. After that, program will be held. It's not compulsory to write each and every statement in the finally block. Only the statement you want to execute it 100%. That code should be written in the finally block. Okay, because actually we are learning the exception handling topic. That's why forcefully I am giving here input 0. Okay, but exception the chances for exception occurring is only 1%. 99% exception is not occur. Okay, we are safe. We are secure our program for future problem. Okay, so only 1% chances is that. So you need to write only those statement in the finally block which you want to execute it. Getting or still out?
Yeah, getting.
Okay. So finally block is 100% executed. Yeah, you can use try catch block inside the finally also. It may be possible that in the finally block we have written some statement and that again throwing the exception. So in the finally block, try catch block is also use uh, try inside the try is also valid syntax. We can use nested try block. So same rules will be followed if you using try block inside the finally block. Okay, same rule will be followed. So try catch
If
block is
we use
a
try block,
what?
sorry. If we use try block in the finally, suppose before try block in the finally we have some other code which will execute first.
Yes. Yeah, which will execute. Actually, exception is occur. Obviously, finally, if execution goes in the finally block, so in the all the statement will be executed in the sequence wise. So this statement is executed after that try block is there, then try block will be executed, and depending on the exception handling or not, it will decide where the execution will be go. Okay, so all the statement will be executed in the sequence wise.
Okay.
Okay, so try cage is a exception handler, and finally block is a 100% executed. In any situation, finally block must be executed. Now, very important, throw and throws. So throw keyword is used to create user defined exception. In sometime happen is the user uh, at the user defined conditions. We want to forcefully we want to create the exceptions. Okay, suppose there is a 50. We are making a ticket reservation system and number of ticket is available 50. User booking and number of user booking the tickets at the one time will happen ticket is means number of ticket is deducted with the two value three values, and sometime it will happen that number of ticket will be zero, and after that user will book the ticket, then number will be go in the negative -1 -2. So I want to throw my own exception if number of ticket is zero. Okay, so throw is used. So as per user condition you want to throw your own exception, so throw keyword is used. Okay. Actually, this is also happen with the if else block also. Okay. See, first I am writing the code for throw. After that, I will explain. I am writing a code in which I am finding the sum of two number. If sum of two number is greater than 50, then I want to throw one exception. And if sum is not greater than 50, then it will print at sum of two number. Okay. Before explaining this code, I want to explain one more program. What happen when we print the object? I am creating one object here. So here's some demo, and what happened when we printing the object of this S1. Okay, because before this program, we in all program in the try-catch block we are printing the object. Okay, system.out.println E. What is E? E is a object. Actually, at the compile time, E is a reference. Okay, but the at the runtime when JVM will send some messages from this try block and that message is received in this reference, then this reference become object. So we are printing the object here, system.out.println. So when we printing this object, then it will print at one error message, exception message. Okay. So that message is coming from where this exception message is coming, divide by zero or index out of bound exceptions. Okay. So I will explain this program. So what happen when we printing any object? See, when we printing any object, then internally it will invoke when we pass any object in the print or println function. So internally it will call the toString function. Okay, it automatically append s1 dot toString function. It's finded there where is a toString function, so it's unable to find toString function in this some demo class. There is a no toString function in this class. So in that case, it will print hash code. So see, that is a hexadecimal code. Hash code is that. So it's unable to find the toString function in the same class, then it will print a hash code. Hash code is just like an address, but Java doesn't support pointer. That's why we are not using the terms address. Actually, it's an address internally uses by JVM for remember the where is the S1 object is stored. Suppose I have created 10 object of same class. So how JVM remember which references belongs to which object? So obviously with the address. Okay, Java support pointer internally. Okay, internally JVM uses pointer concept for memory management and for checking that which object is stored at which location. So obviously address is using by the Java internally. So we are not using the terms address because Java doesn't support pointer like concept. So hash code, we are using the terms hash code. So when we printing the object with the print or println function, then it automatically invoking the toString function. If it's unable to find toString function in the same class, in that case it printed the hash code. So obviously two object have the different hash code. Suppose I am creating one more object s2 and printing the s2 object. So again two hash code is printed, that is that never be the same. Okay, both are different hash code. So there is a two hash code, the hexadecimal value is different for both. Okay, so it printed the hash code if it unable to find the toString function. But if I override the toString function my class and return some return type of this function is string, return some string hello. Now what is the output? So from here it automatically call the toString function, then toString function is there. So output of this code is hello hello two times because toString function is working here, toString function is working here. Hello hello. Is that clear?
Yes, it was clear.
So in case of arithmetic exceptions, all these messages that error message is coming from toString function, okay, which is already defined in the this array index out of bound is an inbuilt class. Okay, arithmetic exception is an inbuilt class. So obviously in the definition of that class, toString function must be defined there, and that toString function returning that message which we getting after executing the system.out.println. Okay, so that message written from the toString function. Now so one function is there, public, no need to write public void sum accepting two integer value. I'm checking addition of this two number x plus y if less than equals to 50. Else I want to throw the exceptions. In the else block I want to create my own exception. Invoking this, I'm declaring this function as a static because no, I don't need to create object for invoking this function. Sum 10 comma 20. When I passing the value 10 comma 20, obviously if block will be executed, and if I pass sum 30 comma 40. In that case, else block will be executed. So from the else block, I am want to throw my own exceptions. So what is the name of exception? Actually, arithmetic exception, array index, auto bound exception, number format exception, this all class is a inbuilt class. But here I am going to create my own exception class. So we can write any name, either sum exception or user exception or addition exception or Nitin exception. You can use any name. Okay. So I'm using the name sum exception equals to new sum exception. And general syntax of using throw is that just write a throw keyword and one object is throw keyword, always throw one exception object. So here I am creating the object of exception, some exception. This is my own exception class, and passing that object with the throw keyword. So throw means it's simply throwing, throw a ball, just like a throw a ball. It will throw the exceptions e. Here it give the error where is the some exception class. So we need to declare one more class, some exception. And in Java, all the exception class is a drive class of exception superclass. So we need to extend exception class. That is a super class of all the exception class. And obviously, if I handling the some exception, so which message it will printed. So I need to write toString function. So this toString function will return exception message, that is sum exceeds 50. Okay. When we handle the sum exception, then it will printed the in the cage block. It will printed this message sum exceed 50. Okay. So this is our code, but problem is that this line throwing the exceptions. So as per exception handling rules, if any line throwing the exception, we need to enclose this line in the try block. So at this complete program, this line throwing the exception, so I need to surround this line in the try block. And which type of state exception is occurring in this line? That is some exception. So we need to handle the some exception in the cage block. Now see how this program will be executed. When I calling the sum 1020, then obviously if block will be executed and message will be sum equals to 30. When I calling second function sum 30 40, in that case else block will be executed. Else block will be executed, then it throw the exception e, and e belongs to some exception. E is the object of some exception class, so it matches the where is the matched catching block. So this is the matched catching block. And when we it will handle the exception, and what message will be printed when we use printing this object. So it will internally call the toString function of some exception class. So we already defined the toString function in the some exception class. So message will be printed sum exceed 50. It's a local variable even to change. Okay. I think you have again doubt is the we can handle, I mean directly we can print the error message in the else block. Why we are using the throw and try catch? Okay. See, the output is sum equals to 30 and sum exceed 50. So in this program, we have created our own exceptions and handle that exceptions. Suppose you have developing a project in which n number of .java file is there, and each and every Java file you want to handle the some exceptions. Okay, so if you are not using this all code, instead of this 4 to 5 line, I can directly print the error message in the system.out.println sum exit. Instead of writing this, you can directly write sum exit 50. This is also giving the same output, right? So why we are not using this type of code? Why we are using throw and try catch block? So actually using the try catch and throw is a your program will make the standard. Okay, suppose you are developing your project and there's a 10 files, 10.java file in your project, and all the file want to handle some exceptions. So if you write such kind of code in all 10 programs, okay, and after writing this code, suppose if you want to change your error message, okay, if you want to change your error message, that instead of writing sum exceed 50, you want to write the change the error message sum will not be greater than 50, okay, means you, if you want to replace your error message with some other string, so you need to perform the changes in all the 10 program, okay, because you are using directly else block, you're writing the statement in the directly else block, so you need to change in all the 10 programs, okay. But instead of using directly message here, if you using this type of code, so this code is standard. Now if you want to change your error message in all the 10 programs, then in that case you need to change in only one class, that is here, because message is coming from here. So if you, I have changed the message here, then obviously it will reflected in all the 10 Java program. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the use of throw. Throw is at the user conditions. If you want to throw your own exception, then throw keyword is used. So after throw, there is a throws. One more keyword is left. Throw is used to create user-defined exception, and throws actually there is two use of throws keyword. Throws you work as an exception handler for checked exception. Actually, right now we are learning unchecked exceptions. So second use of throws is throws work as an exception informer for the unchecked exceptions. Okay, so there is a two type of exception, checked and unchecked exception. Right now we are learning unchecked exception. So here throws work as a exception informer. So it's not work as a exception handler because we are dealing with unchecked exceptions. In the same program, I'm going to use throws keyword. Suppose in this program we didn't write try catch block here. If I removing this try catch block, okay. So what happened when we user calling this function sum and passing to integer value, then this value will become in the x and y, and here if execution goes in the else block, then there's one exception message is throwing by this code, but that exception is not handled by the function internally, okay. So if no try catch block present here, so we need to write throws here. Throws working as an exception informer. It inform to the calling function that there is a some problem in the method body. What is the problem? It throwing the some exception. It throwing. So this throw informing to the calling function. Calling function is from where we are calling this function. Some 10, 20, some 30, 40. So this throws informing to the calling function is that there is a problem in the body of the function, but is not handled internally. So you handle outside. So when we calling this function, obviously we will check that what is the name of function sum. After that, I will check what is a parameter is there to integer parameter. Okay, 10. So I need to pass 10, 20. So at when first time when we calling this function, so firstly we check the name. After that, we will check the what is the parameters is there. At that time, I will check that yeah, it's throwing the some exception. So this throws informing us that there is a exception is occurring inside the body of method, but that exception is not handled internally. So at the time of function calling, you need to handle outside. So here I will write this try catch block. Output of this code is same as previous one, but in this program we have used throws. So throws working as a just exception informer. It doesn't it will not handle the exception, but it's only inform to us that there is a exception occurring in the body of the method, and it's not handled by methods internally. So you handle at the time of function calling. So here it's working as an exception informer. If I write try catch block inside the body, so no need to write throws here. If method is itself handling the exception, so why we inform to the calling function, okay. But if no try catch block inside the body of function, then in that case we need to write throw keyword here. So throw here working as an exception informer. You are getting?
Yes.
Okay, so throws always use with the function body. Okay, means at this place, and throw always use means the syntax of throw we always pass the object after the throw keyword, and throws keyword always use with the function declarations, function definitions. Okay, there is a n number of inbuilt function in Java which throwing the which having the throws keyword. Just like if you check Java p command, java.io.file, this is a IO package is there. Mm, File is an inbuilt class in Java which is belongs to IO package. If you want to uh, check how many methods and constructor present in this file class, which is inbuilt class, then you can write java p command, java p, then package name and file name. So it will printed all the methods belongs to file class. So in this method you can see that some method is throwing the exceptions. Where is the method? Yeah, this one. Get canonical path throws java.io.io exceptions. Throws keyword you can find here. So means that when we invoking this function get canonical path, so here's throw is there, so we will easily understand that this method is internally throwing the IO exception. So at the time of calling this function we need to write that code in the try catch block, because this method internally throwing the exception which is not handled inside. But rest of the code methods just like get name, get parent, it no throws keyword is there. So we will not write to the calling code in the try catch block because no throw keyword is there. Okay, so at the time of function calling we will check that there is a throws present or not, informer is present or not. Yes, if informer is present, then we call that function in the try catch block. If informer is not present, so no need to handle the exception. Getting?
Yes, getting.
So this is all about exception handling, try catch. There is a we have learned five keyword: try catch, finally, throw, and throws. One more concept which comes in the JDK 1.7, that is try with resources concept. So before explaining this, again going through the same concept, custom exception, that is a use of throw keyword. If you want to create your own exception, custom exceptions class, just like a invalid radius. Suppose you are writing implementing a code for finding the area of circle. Okay, and if anybody passing the radius in the negative value, so obviously there is a exception will be occur. User want to create their own exception message, so in that case you can use any name, invalid radius exception, or circle with radius exception, or test circle with radius exception. You can use any name. So that is use of throw. And some I have designed some animations of try catch block. Let's see how executions will be gone if an exception is occur. See, in the try block, suppose no exception in the statement, so execution will go. Can you tell me which statement will be executed if no exception is occurring in the try block?
Next statement.
Next, final. What about finally? Finally, block must be executed either exception is handled or not. So execution directly goes to first in the sequence wise. If no exception is occurred, so all the statement will be executed in sequence. So execution will be go finally block. Okay. Final block is always executed. After that, it will go in the next statement because no exception is there. If exception is occurring, then obviously only final statement will be executed. Next statement will not be executed. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now see, suppose an exception of type exception 1 is thrown in the statement 2. Means exception is occurring in the statement 1, then execution will directly goes to the case block. Okay. And after that exception is handled, it will print the final statement and next statement. So if exception is occurring, then all the code will be executed in the sequence from here to cage block, and from cage block to finally block, and from finally block to next statement. Okay. Now this is the throw in the try block throw statement, and after that it will check the matching cage block. If matching cage block is there, then after that it will print the next statement Okay. Again, try block, there is a throw statement, but no matching. No throw statement will not be executed. Means in our program, we are writing the throw statement in the else block. Suppose if block is executed, so in that case, directly next step will be executed. Okay. Yeah, throwing the statement, after that it will matching the cage block, finding the matched cage block. After that it will execute the finally block, and after that next statement, because exception is handled. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Now one more new concept which comes in the JDK 1.7, that is try with resources. Okay, as we have I have explained that resources means what is resources. So resources mean things which is not belongs to Java. Okay, just like a database. Okay, database is not a part of Java. It's a resource for Java program. File handling. When we learning the next topic will be file handling. So when we dealing with file for reading and writing purpose, so file is a resource. Okay, it's not belongs to Java part. Internet, suppose I am writing a code or in Java which is sending a email or SMS. Okay, so it require the internet connection. So internet is a resources for Java program. So resources means things which is not belongs to Java. Okay, so this concept is come the try with resources, that is JDK 1.7 version. Okay, this new concept is designed in the JDK 1.7. As per this concept, if this concept is not present, then this is the old way how to handle this situation. So buffer reader, suppose buffer reader is a class for reading the file. Reader means obviously this code will be reading a file from particular path. Okay, so in the try block we have write all the code for file reading, and after that we need to close the file. As I have told you, if we forget to close the file, then obviously that object will be stored in the heap memory for infinite time, and JVM will not be garbage collected that object, because you will not indicate to the JVM, you will not inform to the JVM using the close function that you are not using that object anymore. Okay, so using the close method, okay, if you calling the close method, then this is the info message sending to the JVM that we have, our work is completed, so just garbage collect that object. Okay, using close function we just inform to the JVM that our work of reading and writing is completed. Now please garbage collect that object. But what happen if you forget to call the close method? Obviously if you forget to call the close method, in that case JVM will not get your message that your work is completed, so it will not clear the that object from the memory. And if you created n number of object of file reading and you forget to close the that object, then obviously if sometime after some time memory of JVM is full, and it will create error, stack overflow error, and obviously memory leak problem is there. So to handle such type of situation, Java designed this concept try with resources. Okay, so the code exact code which comes before the try with resources concept, this is the old way. In this slide you can see the old way how to handle this situation. So we always write closing these resources code in the finally block. As I have told, if exception is occurring, then finally block must be executed, and all the resources will be closed automatically because of finally block. If exception is handled or not handled, close method 100% executed. So that is the exact code for memory management. Okay, but problem is that some developers forget to write the close method. Okay, forget to write finally block and forget to write actually your code never give the compile time error if you forget to write close method. That is the problem. Okay, if you forget to write close method, then code will be easily compile, easily run, and all the operation will be completed without any error message. Okay, but problem is that after some time that object create memory leak problem. So to resolve this type of situation, Java created try with resource concept. As per this concept, there is a syntax of try catch block is totally changed in this concept. There is a small bracket after the try block. Okay, you can see the small bracket after the try block, and after small bracket is closed, there is a curly bracket started. So all the l- statement which is dealing with resources, we always write in the small bracket of try block. Okay, so try, then buffer reader, buffer writer, all the reading and writing work we will do in the try small bracket. Okay, And in this code we never write close method. We never no need to call close method. It will automatically close the resources. That's why the name of this concept is try with resources. Okay, in that case if user no need to close the resources, that's it. If your work is completed, then try block automatically close these resources. So this is some code which is already performed by JVM internally. Closing the resources will be done automatically by the JVM. But only things you need to remember that you need to write all the codes belongs to resources. You need to write in the small bracket of try block. Okay. That is the only concept. We are going to this going to use this concept in the next topic. Okay, that's why I will not elaborate this, explain this topic in more deeply. In the next topic I will explain in more deeply. So this is all only theoretical concept of try with resources. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So in the next topic I will explain in more deeply how we can use this try with resource concept. Okay. So this is all about exception handling topic. Uh,
When we go for final and when we go for finally,
Actually, what is difference between final, finally, and finalize? Actually, three concept in Java. See, final is a keyword we can use with the variable. If you use final keyword with the variable, then it will become constant. Okay. If you use final keyword with the method, then we can't override constant in case of that variable become constant in case of variable. That method you can't override. It doesn't allow to override the method if you declare that method as a finally. If you use with the class name, then you can't inherit the final method. Okay, this is all about finally. Only three uses of final keyword with the variable, with the methods, and with class name. Finally, finally is a block that will be 100% executed either your exception is handle or not handle. That is the only thing about finally. Now one more thing, finalize. Finalize is a method. This is a syntax for finalize. Void public. You can write this finalize method at any place in your program. Actually, this method will never call. Okay, it's automatically called by JVM. Finalize. Suppose I have write some statement in the finalize method system.out.println hello. Okay, okay. We never call this finalize method. Okay, it's automatically called by JVM. So when JVM will call finalize method automatically. So there is a garbage collection process. Okay, JVM continuously perform garbage collection process internally. If you want to check that when JVM perform the garbage collections, so you need to override this method finalize in your code. And it may be possible when you executing your code, hello will be printed automatically. So hello will be printing means after printing the hello, JVM perform the garbage collection in the background. So it's just method provided by Java to check where, when, at which time JVM performing the garbage collection process. We never call finalize method using our code. Okay, it's automatically called by JVM before performing the garbage collection process. Before, no, after performing, sorry, after, yeah, before, sorry, before performing the garbage collection process, JVM automatically call the finalize method. So this is the interview question. What is difference in final, finally, and finalize in Java? So if you write finalize methods, so it may be possible hello will be printed. It may or may not be possible hello will be printed or not. Totally depends on JVM. If JVM perform the garbage collection, then it will invoke the finalize method. If it's not performing, then obviously no out, you will not get the output of this method. Okay.
if suppose writing a finalized method, memory was full, then at that time garbage collector will come and collect the total objects, or we have to call the garbage collector?
Actually, we can't call garbage collection explicitly. Actually, Java provide one. Okay, see one program I am explaining related to garbage collection. I have GC. Yeah, garbage collection. See, this is a one class garbage collect demo. Uh, I have created one array here. Now, size of array is 30,000. Okay, 30,000 means one integer value having 4 byte size. So 30,000 into 4. This memory will be allocated by the JVM in the heap because we are using new keyword. So that memory will be allocated inside the heap area. Okay, now there is a two function occupy memory. Okay, when we initialize this array with some values, then it will occupy the memory. And when we initialize this array with the zero value, then JVM will think that you are not using to array, so just garbage collect that array. Okay, so discard array means just initialize the all the indexes with the zero value, then it's ready for garbage collections. And if all the index having some value other than zero, then it's used by user, so don't garbage collect. Okay, JVM will understand that. So there's a two function occupy memory and discard array. Now I have created the garbage collect demo object of this class and runtime. Yeah, if you want to find how much memory is free available in the JVM, so there's a free memory method. Okay, but this method is always called with the object of runtime class. So runtime, to create the object or runtime class, there is a static function get runtime. So runtime dot get runtime, we are invoking this get runtime method with the class name because it's a static function. So a static function can easily call with the class name. So when we calling this get runtime method with the class name, it will return the runtime object. And from this runtime object, we can call the free memory, this free memory function. So it will return how much memory is free inside the JVM at the current time. Okay, suppose it will return 1000. Suppose actually it's not going to return 1000. Suppose it will return 1000 bytes. That 1000 byte memory is free in the JVM. Okay. After that, I will printing this message free memory, how much free memory is available. So in initial free memory before creating the array is free memory. So it will print at 1000. Okay. Now using runtime object, there is a GC function. Okay. So, interview question is that can you force garbage collection explicitly? Okay, so answer is that no, we never force garbage collection explicitly. Garbage collection is a background process is automatically performed by JVM. So we can't force to the JVM to do the garbage collections. Then interviewer ask you, yeah, Java having one GC function. Using GC function, you can force the JVM for garbage collection. So correct answer is that this GC function, when we invoking the GC function, it just make a request. It will just make a request to the JVM. Please do the garbage collection. Okay, we are not forcing to the JVM for garbage collection. Okay, it's just sending the request. So it totally depends on the JVM. It will accept your request or not accepts. Actually, 99% it will accepted your request. 99%. But still chances of 1%. That's why we are not saying that we can force the garbage collection explicitly. Getting my point?
Yes.
Okay. So using GC function, we can just make a request to the JVM, please do the garbage collection. Okay, so suppose it will do the garbage collection. So free memory size will be increased after calling this GC function. Again, I will checking the free memory. So suppose 200 bytes is cleared by the JVM. So now free memory size will be 1200. So 200 bytes is increased. So it will print at 200. After that, I will call occupy. This GC is the object. Okay, don't confuse between this GC. This GC is an inbuilt function and this GC is a object, our object of our own class. So I will change the name because of confusion. This is obj, GC obj, GC obj. So occupy memory, I am calling the occupy memory function, then it will allocate the, when we calling the occupy memory, then it will initialize the array with the values. Obviously memory will be allocated to the array, so free memory will be reduced. Now suppose free memory will be reduced, so before calling this occupy memory, free memory is 1200. Now after calling the occupy memory, suppose free memory size will be deducted 400 bytes, so it will be now available 800 only. Again I will checking what is the free memory, so it will return 800. Getting my point? After calling the occupy memory, free memory size will be reduced. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. After that I will printing again size of free memory, so it will print at 800. After that again call discard array. Discard array will initialize all the index with the zero value. Then it ready for garbage collection. And after that I will again make the request to the JVM. Please do the garbage collection using GC function. And again I will checking how many free memory is there. Then it will return the 1200. Okay. Let's see what is the output of this code. GC object. Okay, so initial free memory before creating the array. This is just see the last 4 to 5 digit. And free memory after garbage collection. Obviously size is increased. There is a 1558, 1558, and here 1593. Okay, from the starting digit. So it increased the size of free memory because of free memory after the garbage collection. Getting the point in the two lines in the output, first two line.
Yes.
Okay. And the third line, free memory after creating the array. Again, size is reduces because after creating the array, memory free memory size will be reduced. So 84 now. Okay. Firstly 93, then after that 84, 1593, then here 1584. And free memory after running the GC again, then same memory will be, means not the same, but just like a same 1593. So GC function, when we invoking the GC function, then it will send the request to the JVM for garbage collection, and 99% JVM listen their request and do the garbage collection. But it's not a guarantee that every time JVM. Right now JVM is free, so it will listen the request and accept the request. But it may be possible you are parallelly your n number of Java program is executed on the same system, same JRE, same JVM. So at that time JVM is busy to do some other work, so it will not accept your request. It may be possible. Okay, just type one command here, jconsole. Okay, jconsole. When you pressing the enter after writing the jconsole, then you got one window. Okay, this is all about memory management in Java. So one window will be open. Now you need to click on the connect button on the bottom. There's a connect button is disabled right now. Okay, to enable this connect button, just click on this local process and sun tools jconsole. When you clicking on this sun tools jconsole, then connect button will automatically enabled. Now click on the connect button. So this is all graphical format of how Java manage their memory. Okay. So there is an four graph. First graph belongs to heap memories currently uses by JVM. So this graph is sometime up and down because of garbage collection. It will do, then graph is suddenly down, and if you running your Java program, then graph is suddenly up. Okay. So first graph is belongs to heap memory. Second graph belongs to threads, processes. Internally, how many processes executing in the JVM? That is 35 processes. Third graph, classes, number of classes is loaded in the JVM. 3410 classes is loaded in the JVM. And last one is a CPU utilization. So this CPU utilization you can easily check in the task manager also. From here in the Windows start task manager, you can see how much CPU utilized by currently by our all the processes. So CPU is the thing. Now click on the second tab. There is a second tab, memory. Okay, just click. So this is all about heap memory uses. So in the graph, the x-axis representing the time. So right now time is 9 hours 28 minutes. So 9 o'clock 28 minutes. So at this time, average memory used by the JVM is around 21 MB. And this graph is suddenly up and rise because of garbage collection process. It go down and because of, yeah, JConsole is a Java program. So when we executing this JConsole window, then graph is suddenly up. Okay. In the right side, bottom side, there is a two bar, heap memory and non-heap memory. Okay. Heap means JVM memory, and non-heap means RAM memory, stack memory. Okay. So this non-heap memory graph is means bar. Non-heap bar is always constant. Okay, because it's representing the RAM memory. If I closing some software from outside, that is suppose I'm closing the Skype or GoToMeeting or PPT, then obviously non-heap memory will be reduced. It's a total memory is on the RAM. Okay, heap memory graph, that is first bar, is sometime filled and sometime it's not filled, means it's cleared. So there is a three bar, it's moving. Okay. You are getting?
Yes.
Okay. Now one button at the right side top, perform GC. When we clicking on this button perform GC, then it will automatically call the GC function internally. So it may be possible when I clicking this perform GC button, then graph is suddenly down because it send the request to the JVM, please do the garbage collection, and JVM will listen their request and graph is suddenly down. Let's see what happened. I'm clicking this button. Yeah, graph is down with the 700, 1700. Then again it's up. So when you anytime when you click on the perform GC button, then graph is suddenly down because of garbage collection process, and all the bar of heap memory is cleared. So why I am explaining this? So this is JConsole is a memory monitoring tool. Okay. When you developing your any software, then how you can check how much memory uses by your software? So using this JConsole window, you can easily check how much memory is uses by your software which you have developed in Java. Okay. How? Just firstly open the JConsole and check how much average memory used by JConsole window. Suppose 20 MB is used. After that, I will minimize the JConsole window, and parallelly I will open my software which I have developed in Java. After executing our software, I will again check the JConsole window, that how much reflection, how much memory is increased after executing my own Java program. Then you can easily find out how much memory is uses by your Java software. So this is for just like a testing purpose. If you want to test your program will uses which how much memory, so you can easily check in JConsole window. So it's used by generally software tester in Java. Okay. Anything else?
Mm, thank you. I
O-
never see like this.
Okay. Yeah.
Super strange.
Yeah. Okay, you have seen, but you need to remember all this concept. Okay.
Yes.
You have record the video. It's better if you record the video.
I have no option for
No option.
recording.
Okay, I will share one link. I have already recorded all the videos. I will share one link. This is a Google Drive link. Okay, in which from which you can download all the video after
Okay,
the
fine.
after course is completed. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Thank you, Phil. We will see you tomorrow, same time.
And can you give assignment for today?
Actually, I have already designed the assignment sheets. Actually, no assignment belongs to try-catch block. Actually, it's a some simple concept. So, no assignment related to this topic exception handling.
Mhm.
You got that PDF file which I have discussed yesterday session?
Not yet. Not yet.
No, no, I will. Okay, just I will call to the organizer and tell her to share with you. Okay.
Why not you send?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I don't have your mail ID.
Okay, I will give you.
Okay, just text me on the chat. I will directly mail you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. PKB. Okay. Okay, Krishna. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.